The gym is an amazing place. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased in saying that because it's my job and I personally love it as a place, but I truly think it's one of the last merit-based places or things or activities that we still have. I mean, 200 pounds is always going to be 200 pounds. It doesn't care what day of the week it is, doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about what's going on politically or socially or anything of the sort. It's just always going to be the same, and it's always going to be there for you. Now, a place is also only as good as the people who occupy it. And without getting too philosophical, but if you are behaving poorly, you will ruin a great thing. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about gym etiquette for a couple of reasons. One, it's end of December now, January, new year, new me people are entering the gym. And if that is one of you, if you are one of those people listening to this, then welcome. And it's not a bad thing to be one of those people, so to speak. It's an amazing thing. In fact, we want more and more people in the gym and more people engaging in health and fitness because it is better for you, and therefore it is better for quite literally everyone else if everybody is healthier and working on becoming a better version of themselves. However, in any type of new space, there are rules and etiquettes and not necessarily rules, but just like this is how we do things here. And some of it is like pretty common sense, and some of it is maybe not so common sense. When you're new to a place, you look to the people who are already there to kind of determine your behavior for the unwritten rules. And when the people who are supposed to be the leaders, the OGs, if you will, are engaging in less than ideal behavior, let's say, then you just think that that's normal and that's what everyone does around here, and so that's how you're supposed to act. And fair enough, like how would you know otherwise? So if you are a person who's been in the gym, not one of the new people in the gym for January, it is literally up to you and the gym staff, but up to you to be behaving how you want new people to behave, because they're going to model your behavior. If you're the big guy or the big girl, the strong guy or the strong girl, or you just walk around very confidently, like you obviously, you say hi to everybody, you've obviously been here, it's not your first time, you are automatically a leader in the gym. And the new people in the gym are looking around and are seeing you and modeling their behaviors after you. Not necessarily, maybe their workouts, maybe not, but like just general things in the gym. Now listen, I know that this is not going to be the most popular episode because I think it's just like, people don't want to be told what to do or how to act. And if you are, been in the gym, you think you know all the things, but like there's a reason why, gyms aren't acting or behaving or functioning in the way that they should oftentimes. And it's because the people who are supposed to be doing the right things are not. So this won't be the most popular episode, and I get that. But if you do listen to this, please share it. Please share it, because it should be one of the more popular episodes. When the gym is functioning properly, as in the people inside of the gym kind of treating each other and the space and the activity with respect, it becomes a better environment. A better environment breeds more fun, less reluctance to go work out, and all of those things contribute to better workouts, which then contributes to better gains. Is that me trying to justify a little bit? Maybe yes, but also I don't see too much flaw in the logic there. So better gym environment, better gains, and this is, of course, better for everyone. Most of these things are going to be like rules in anything. Again, it's a lot of it is common sense. Some of them are a little bit less so. Some of them are fast. Some of them all whoa, excuse me. Some of them are quick little ones. Some of them will probably make me upset as I recount stories and things about them. A lot of this is also driven by, over the past, say, year and a half or so, I've been doing most of my own workouts back in a commercial gym in a Good Life here in Canada nearby my house. And there's a different environment in commercial chain gyms, Good Lifes, LA Fitness, Anytime Fitness, whatever you name it, versus private or like one-off gyms like, Daniel's Gym. That's just like in the community that there's not a chain, and there's a different environment in these type of gyms. And for the most part, the one-off gyms are going to have like a slightly better environment, and it's typically because the people who work there care more, and there's less people and that kind of stuff. But obviously most people, and again myself included for just logistical reasons, work out at a commercial gym. And so I've seen a lot more stuff, because for the previous couple of years to the last year and a half or so, I was mostly in either the gyms that I was working at, which were personal training studios or smaller gyms, or I was training at independent gyms. And so it's just a different vibe. They're less busy, you know more people, so there's less of these kind of like silly things that happen. But anyway, so a lot of these stories and things that I realized that people were doing, and frankly, the previous to prior to COVID, really, so like 5 or 6 years ago now, I was mostly working out in like either school gyms or commercial gyms or whatever, and so things are different in this past year since they were before that. So there's a lot of contrast there. But anyways, let's get into it without rambling too much more. There's a bunch of lists, so I'm not going to number them all, but the first thing up here is, and this is like probably the biggest one for me and someone I talk about all the time, you got to put your weights away. Like there's no excuse for this. You need to put your weights away. If you take dumbbells off the rack, you use them, you do your exercise, you put the dumbbells back on the rack in the correct spot. You don't just put stuff back wherever, shove it in a corner of the gym, put it back on a different rack. Sometimes it depends on the gym. The dumbbell rack will have a label. It'll say that, the 10s go here, the 30s go here, whatever. Put them back in the right spot. And if they're not labeled, then put them back wherever you found them, unless it's obviously in the wrong spot. If the 10s are, placed where all the other, there's the 90s, the 80s, the 100s, and then a random pair of 10s that someone else left there, take them there and put them back where the 10s go. This also goes for the weight plates. If you're using a barbell or a plate-loaded machine, or especially if you're using a barbell, put the weights back where they go. When you are putting the weights back on like a weight tree or a weight stack of any sort, the heavy ones go on the bottom and the lighter ones go on the top. This sounds like it should be obvious, but it's not, because the weights end up all over the place or left on the floor. One, it looks like a mess, and any space that is messy is just not conducive to positivity as much as a clean, organized space. Two, it's a little bit of like a safety hazard of people tripping and stuff like that, which, be careful. So it's not that much of a safety hazard, but it's annoying. And three, it's just disrespectful. Some other gym member or a gym staff member is going to have to pick up after that, and they're not your caretaker. They're not there to pick up after you and clean up after your mess. So put all your weights away. This includes if you're using a plate-loaded machine, so maybe a row or a chest press or a leg press is a really common one, actually. You put all the weights on to use it, take them all off. Even though that's like a storage place because it looks the same, that is not a place to store it, especially if you've been using a lot of weight. If you put 8 plates on the leg press machine, good for you that you can do that. I mean, we'd like to see how well you can squat, but nice that you did 8 plates on the leg press machine, but put all those plates away, because the next person after you may or may not be using 8 plates. Maybe they're going to use 1 plate, or maybe they're going to use 0. Who knows? But either way, it's not their job to clean up after your mess. So please, please, please put your weights away. Next one, wipe down your benches. So every single gym is going to have spray bottles and either paper towel or a towel of some sort that is lying around and scattered around the gym in different places. You sweat in the gym. It's normal. It's not weird to sweat. In fact, it's in some way like weird if you don't sweat. Like you're there to exercise and you're going to get sweaty. It's normal. So it's okay to have sweat stains on the bench. But just wipe it off. It takes about 15 seconds at most. A couple spritz, wipe it down. Now it's ready for the next person. You wouldn't like it, again, if someone sweat all over the bench and then just left it like that. And so don't be the person who's perpetuating the thing. And here's another way to think about this. And you can think about this for this specific example, but for the rest of the things. If you see someone doing something like not wiping their bench down, or engaging in any of these types of behaviors, and you're like, well, no one else does it, I'm not going to do it. You could do that and be like, well, nobody else does this thing, so why am I going to be the one to wipe my sweat off the bench or whatever? Or you can kind of be the bigger person, break the cycle, and start engaging in correct, considerate, nice, neighborly behavior. And then maybe someone will follow suit, and then everyone kind of cleans up after themselves and treats the space nicely, and you will be doing well. I understand the temptation to be like, well, no one puts their weights away, no one wipes their benches down, no one does this, no one does that. That doesn't make it the right thing to do. The old adage, is that the word? Adage? I don't even know what that means, but the old thing, all of our parents told us, if everyone jumped off a bridge, would you go jump off a bridge too? It's the same thing. Just because everyone else is acting poorly doesn't mean that you should also act poorly. So keep that in mind as we go down the list here. Next, do not work out right in front of the dumbbell rack. This is very common. I see this all the time. It is extremely annoying. If you need to do any exercise with dumbbells that doesn't require bench and just standing in space, maybe lateral raises or curls or whatever, grab your dumbbells, take a few steps off the dumbbell rack, and then do your exercise. Do not lean, put your hand down and do rows, or stand right in front of it and do your lateral raises, your curls, or shrugs, or whatever it is that you're doing. Do not do them right in front of the dumbbell rack. It's very entitled behavior. Now nobody else can get weights or take away other weights if they're or put away weights. Maybe I mix those up. No one else can get weights or put weights away if they're trying to, because you're in the way. You're in the way of the mirror space, which we'll talk about in a second, or somewhere it's on this list. And it's just rude. Take your dumbbells, move back off the bench, off the rack, and then put them back on. Not very difficult. I know it takes you an extra 10 seconds, but so be it. Be considerate of the other people around you. Another one, this is less it's not so much an etiquette thing, but just a little tip that you should use. Put clips on the bar. So if you're using a barbell, if you're using one of the easy curl bars, the easy curl bar is that squiggly one that you might see people doing curls or various things, skull crushers and stuff like that with. That's a shorter one, and you put weights on the sides. Use clips on that. I've had my phone broken twice because someone else didn't put clips on it, and my phone was on the floor near my bench, but they turned or moved in some way. A weight slipped off the bar, rolled, cracked on my phone. Not fun for the recipient of that, and not fun for you. Now you got to pay for this person's phone. You got to do it. It's the whole thing. It takes, again, basically no effort. One, it's also safer for yourself to have the clips on the bar so the weights are not moving while you're exercising. I've seen that happen a number of times where people are squatting, and they're these are newer people that it's going to happen to as well. Someone more experienced can kind of get away with it, but doesn't mean you should. You step back and you kind of tilt as you step back, and as you do that, the weight slips off, and I've seen it slip right off when the bar's on someone's back. That's a problem. So put the clips on the bar. The one exception to having clips on the bar, there's maybe another one, but the one major exception to having clips on the bar is while you are bench pressing, and especially if you're alone, without a spotter. The reason being is that you can still run into the same issue where the plates are slipping off, and that's a problem. But so learn how to bench press in a straight line so that doesn't happen. But in the case where you're alone and there's no spotter, if you get to the bottom and you're stuck and you can't press it, it's really, you can't just dump the bar off you, because obviously you're underneath the bar. So the way to do it is you kind of roll over to one side, the weights will slide off that side, and then it will fling you back over to the other side, and the weights will go off, and then the bar will be empty, and you can put it up. So just for safety reasons for that one, but for basically every single other exercise, put your clips on the bar. It's going to save you. It's going to be safe for you, safe for other people's devices and toes around you. And just, again, all of these things are this is not a huge hassle to do this. It takes 5 seconds to throw the clips on, take them off. It's going to make it better for you and for everyone around you. There's a bit of a right of way. So this will often happen in near the dumbbell rack or any other kind of high traffic area. If two people are walking walking towards each other, the person carrying dumbbells or weight or a thing has the sort of right of way, right? And again, this is pretty common sense, right? If I'm carrying a big box of something down the street, you're not going to expect me to move out of the way while I have the big thing that I'm struggling to walk with. So if you see someone who's walking towards you or walking past you or something, like move out of their way if they're carrying weight and step aside. Again, not that big of a deal, just pretty common sense right of way type of thing. And that even sounds like too extreme. It's not a right of way like a driving rule. It's more just like, hey, someone's carrying something. Let them walk. You step to the side for 1 second and then walk past. The next one on the list. This is the biggest one. This maybe not the biggest one, but like this is the one that upsets me the most currently. And it's that we need to share equipment again. If someone comes up to you and asks you, hey, how many sets do you have left on that machine? The correct answer is, I have 2 sets left or 3 sets left, but you can work in with me. This concept of, oh, I've got 3 sets left. So, fuck off and come back later and hopefully, you get here at the right time. It's very strange. This used to never be a thing. This 5 or 6 years ago or more, before COVID really, it used to be a very normal thing to just share equipment. Now, the exception to this is like a squat rack where 2 people are different heights, or deadlifting if 2 people are like very different strength levels, or bench pressing if you're very different strength levels, or things like that. If you're using a plate-loaded machine where there's a huge discrepancy in strength or the amount of weight that you're being used, just because the act of loading and unloading the plates between sets would be tough. An example, again, going back to our leg press thing, if person A is doing 8 plates on the leg press and person B is doing 1 plate on the leg press, it's a little bit silly to load and unload 7 plates between sets. That's a lot. But an exception of those couple things, especially if you're using like a pin-loaded machine. So a pin-loaded machine is any of the machines where there's like a little weight stack and you just take the pin out, you put it from 10 to 30 or whatever. That's a pin-loaded machine. That takes 1 second to change the weight, right? There's no unloading and loading. You adjust the seat height, you adjust the chest pad, the arm thing. Like there's not that many adjustments. All these adjustments take very short amount of time, and it doesn't impact you at all. Even if we just do this on a numbers basis, your set takes 30 to 45, maybe 60 seconds kind of thing of you actually lifting. And then you're going to rest for at least a minute, probably closer to like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. In that time that you're resting, another person, like you're not doing anything on the machine. You're maybe sitting there and that's fine, but you're just kind of like waiting for your next set. Another person can jump in and do their set because 45 seconds is less time than 2 minutes. If you follow my math on that one. And it's like no harm, no foul to you. And like the other person gets to work in and share, and maybe you even make a friend. Like it doesn't, this whole thing of like, no, I've got 3 sets left or 4 sets left. You can't use it with me, or not willing to share equipment. It's very strange. Gyms never used to be like this. It used to be very collaborative, even sharing benches. Like, okay, you're doing bench press, I'm doing single arm rows. Like, fine. Like you do your bench press. When you're done, you rest, and I'll do my single arm rows. By the time I'm done, you're back on. Like it just made sense because there's only so many benches in the gym, and people want to do things using the same piece of equipment. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I think this kind of came from like this like fake germaphobe thing from COVID, which is, again, it's not even real in the gym sense, because you're wearing clothes that expose your skin. You're touching everything all the same. There's no reason like health or germ wise other than like, I just don't feel like it. Well, you could also wipe it down between sets. And again, doesn't take up, there's still plenty of time to do that between the sets. So it's actually quite irritating especially when there's only one of a type of machine, but even if there's multiple, like in the gym that I go to, there's at This Good Life, there's actually 4 lat pull down machines specifically, which is quite a lot. There probably doesn't need to be that many, but they have that many, and it's not actually uncommon that all of them are being used at the same time. If you go to like a busy time, it's like, well, why can't we share this? Like it, and the counter argument of, well, go do another exercise. Like, sure, but that's not my workout. Especially if you're someone who, if you're listening to this podcast, I assume you're someone who like actually cares about your workout. You care about making progress. You're not just going to go do random other stuff. You have a program that you're following, I hope. And there's a reason why you're doing the exercises that you're doing in the order that you're doing them. There's no reason that we can't share the lat pull down machine, even if we need to use a different. You're using the neutral grip. I want to use the overhand grip. Like, use a different handle. None of these things are actually prohibitive to working together and sharing equipment between sets. It's extremely silly. It makes the gym a very like disconnected, kind of unfriendly environment when we can't share equipment. And frankly, it's just inefficient for everyone involved. This concept of like waiting in line for things like this, it just never used to be a thing. And it's very silly, and I think it's actually a gigantic negative. So yeah, we got to get back to a point of sharing equipment and it being normal to share equipment. And the way to maybe even start this in your own place is if you're on a piece of equipment and someone comes and ask you, they might not ask you if they can work in. They might ask you just how many sets you have left only. You can, again, like I said at the beginning, you say, hey, I've got this many sets left, but you can work in with me. I think it might be, depends on the person, but like if you go up and ask first, hey, can I work in with you? Some people might find that a little bit too direct. Obviously, your approach matters and the person matters and all that kind of stuff. But it feels like demanding. That's why it feels like if you're the one approaching, it feels what's the wording here? It feels like nice to just ask, hey, how many do you have left? And then leave it at, and then let the person invite you to work in with them, which again, that used to be the normal way of doing things. Because also, if the person only has 1 set left, well then sure, I'll wait for, a minute and a half for you to do your last set, and then I'll go and start doing my thing. Because we're not going to, change, like I'm not in that much of a rush. I'm not going to change it just so that you can do one more set. Like, it doesn't matter. So the opening question of how many sets do you have left serves a purpose. And then leave it up to them to be like, hey, yeah, I've got 3 sets left, but feel free to work in. So try and implement this in your gym, and let's make this normal in gyms again. It was such a way better environment when this was a thing. Everything functioned normally, and we gotta bring it back. Next down the list, use common sense about using equipment for its non-primary use. What are some examples to discuss this? If you are, so here's one that I saw. Here's 2 that I saw like just last week. It was a busy time at the gym, and this gym has 3 deadlift platforms. So it's like the wooden platform with the rubber on the sides you can deadlift on, and there's a squat rack there as well. And at the top of the squat rack there are the handles for doing pull-ups. There was someone doing pull-ups there, taking up one of the deadlift platforms, which like you can only really do the deadlifts there because that's the way the spacing works in this gym, but also that way it's made so that you can do that because the weights drop on the floor, all that stuff. This person was doing pull-ups in the deadlift platform in the squat rack and didn't let anyone else like use the deadlift platform, even though like you could do deadlifts and pull-ups at the exact same time because they're separate enough from each other. Which again, this is just inconsiderate because there's also other places, like many other places in the gym, especially in this gym, but like in any other gym, the only pull-up bar thing is not going to be in the squat rack. There's going to be one in the cable machines. There's probably going to be another one somewhere else. Like there's multiple other places to do pull-ups. There's only one place to do deadlifts. Things like that. I've also seen, again, in the squat rack, someone put the bar on like a low setting and was putting their back foot on the bar to do Bulgarian split squats. Fine. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong about that. But when the gym is busy, if it's a busy time, you can put your foot on a lot of other things to do Bulgarian split squats. You can put it on a bench, you can put it on a step, you can put it on a box, you can put it up on a medicine ball, if you will, you can put it on another piece of equipment, you can put it on the stairs. Like, you can put it, the piece of equipment you put your back foot on doesn't actually matter at all. So if the gym is busy, you're going to take up a squat rack to not use the barbell like for lifting, but as a footrest. Like, it's just a little bit selfish and inconsiderate. The same as like the optimal exercises. You know, you're taking up like 3 or 4 or 5 different handles or things to do like one type of weird pull down movement. You know, like, that's just, again, now no one else can use any of those handles at that time, because you're using all of them, and then you're also not going to let anyone use any of them, like any of them at the same time as you. You're not sharing. I think the source of this is people see stuff on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever, and you know, you see some influencer doing a certain setup of exercises in like a non-conventional thing, especially, you know, a post that's like, 3 ways to use the hamstring curl machine that you didn't know about. Like, the hamstring curl machine is for hamstrings. It's for training hamstrings, not for doing a bunch of other stuff. There's other machines for that and other ways to do those things. Like, can you do those things using that piece of equipment because it's all just levers and pulleys? Yes, you can, but is it considerate? No. The other thing is, when you see these posts, these are people who are training at private gyms, who are filming and doing these things at off-peak hours. Maybe it's even their own gym. They're not doing this at 6 p.m. at their local commercial gym when it's busy. So sure, if you want to go to the gym at like a very off-peak time and you want to do, use equipment in unconventional ways and try stuff and all, like, by all means, do that. There's nothing against that. But be considerate of what you are taking up, because other people are trying to use that for the intended purpose of that thing, and especially in the case where it's like, the hamstring curl machine. Hey, like, I can only do hamstring curls on the hamstring curl machine. I can't go do hamstring curls in the bicep curl thing. Like, it doesn't translate that. So if you want to use the roller for Bulgarian split squats, well, now I can't do hamstring curls, and I have to just wait for you to do that. Meanwhile, you can go do your Bulgarian split squats like anywhere else in the gym. It's just about being considerate. So use the equipment for the intended purpose. I was going to put this later in the list, but it fits here now. Along the same line, and this is slightly different but related, is you can't be taking up benches for resting your water bottle or your weights on, or your phone or your towel or whatever like that. If you're doing an exercise with dumbbells that doesn't require to use a bench, so bicep curls, lateral raises, lunges, holding dumbbells, goblet squats, Romanian deadlifts, any of those kind of things, you're by the dumbbells. Putting your weights on the bench, one, ruins the bench. It's not good for the equipment. It leaves dents in the equipment, number one. Number two, now you're taking up that bench, but you're not actually using the bench. It's just a resting spot for putting your weights, for putting your phone, for putting your towel, for putting your water bottle. Now someone can't use the bench for an exercise that requires a bench, like bench pressing, like seated shoulder presses, like chest-supported rows, like Bulgarian split squats, like any number of other things that require a bench, because you want to rest the dumbbells on them or put your phone or whatever. If the gym is empty, by all means, do that, and it's fine. Still, don't rest your weights on the bench. It's still bad for the equipment, but like you can just take up a bench if there's like not that many people around. But if you're there again at 5:30, 6 o'clock, not cool. Especially and even still, if you're like, I'm not using it now, but like the next exercise I'm going to use it. This is hogging equipment, and this comes back to the whole like sharing thing. You shouldn't be. People are doing this because we don't share equipment anymore. Before, it was like, well, I'll just find someone who's using a bench that's doing something kind of like similar-ish to me, and we'll just share the bench. Now, people don't share anything, and so then we have to hog the bench. It's like, well, I'm using the bench 3 exercises from now, and I want to have it, so I'm just gonna like keep my water bottle on it, and I'll try and pretend like I'm using it, and I'll just save it until I need it. Not cool, not okay, and it all comes back to not sharing equipment and just being, kind and considerate to one another. But it's extremely annoying when people are not sharing equipment and then resting, just sitting on the bench, resting, putting their towel, putting their water bottle, and not actually using it. Very, very, very annoying and very, very not cool. Next thing down the list here is try your best to not even try your best. Like, don't do this. Don't slam weights, don't slam equipment, and don't like scream or grunt loudly. When you're lifting heavy, the weights are going to make some noise. And so there's a difference between like heavy weights getting down on the ground and they clank and they make some noise. Like you're not in a library. You don't have to be like so gentle. The weights are not going to break. But if you're slamming the weights down, getting out of a bench press and throwing the dumbbells, one, that's dangerous. Like, don't throw the dumbbells. It's one thing to drop them. It's another thing to like with control and put them down on the ground a little bit heavier. It's a different thing to literally drop them from the top or tumble them, throw them away, unless it's a safety thing. Or drop a barbell. Like, you don't need to do that. Strong people don't throw weights around and slam weights around. Maybe at like some really aggressive powerlifting gyms and stuff like that. You might see it on social media. It looks cool, shakes the camera. Okay. But that's not real life. So don't slam equipment. It's not good for the equipment. It's not good for the flooring. It's obnoxious. And same as the screaming and grunting. Like, you're going to make some noises when you lift. It's okay. You get a little like, you're kind of holding your breath, and sometimes a breath kind of like spurts out. Sorry, probably annoying in the mic. Again, you're not in a library. You don't have to be like quiet, but you can't just be like screaming every rep you're doing and grunting so loud and making a ton of noise. Like, again, that's just obnoxious. It's silly. Makes other people uncomfortable. Makes you look weird. Like, and I don't know who you're trying to impress, but like, you're not impressing anyone. And again, if you look at the big, strong, experienced people in the gym, for the most part, they're not the ones doing this. Like, there will be a guy benching 400 pounds, not making a peep, and then a guy benching 185 who's like screaming and slamming weights. And it's like, which one, if one of these guys was going to be like making a scene, it's the guy lifting like a really heavy, impressive amount of weight. But that guy is just being normal. The person who's lifting, like, okay, they're not a beginner, but like, no one's winning any trophies, and you're screaming and making a scene. Like, that's not cool. It's just weird, and don't do that. In the spirit of like sharing weights and making the gym a community space and making friends and all that kind of stuff, don't interrupt people mid-set. It's okay to talk to people and say hello and ask to work in and all those things, but wait until the person is done lifting. And I would even add to this, like, don't stand right in front of them and like stare at them in a weird way while you're waiting for them to finish their set. Like, off to the side, maybe even out of like direct eyesight, like in the periphery. Like, they'll see you, they'll get to you, but like, it's distracting. The person's lifting, they're focusing on what they're doing. Again, especially if they're more advanced, like they're focusing on what they're doing. They're happy to answer your question about how many sets you have left, say hello, shoot the shit for a second, or help you if you need help with something. They're very happy to do that, but after their set or between their sets. So don't ask or interrupt people mid-set, and don't be in their space kind of mid-set either. People are happy to help you, especially the more advanced people in the gym. If anything, it's like a little bit of an ego stroke for them. Like, oh, you think I'm so big that, you're coming to me for advice. So don't be afraid to ask people for help if you genuinely need help. Like, hey, can you help me figure out this exercise, or can you help me adjust this piece of equipment or something like that? It's very normal. People are happy to help you. For the most part, like the vast majority of people are happy to help you. especially the bigger, more advanced, stronger people. But at the same time, like, don't abuse this, of course. I don't see this basically ever because no one talks to anyone anymore. But I try not to abuse it. Don't ask them. They're there for their own workout. They didn't come for social hour. And this is maybe more true of like people who do just like the chat. They're not asking for help. They're just like want to chat. That's like that's fine. I'm here to work out, and you're interrupting my flow of things by like now we're just having this 10-minute conversation in the middle of my workout. So be mindful of that as well. Next, where are we at here? Not really an etiquette thing, so to speak, but like this will make you look like not a beginner and like you know what you're doing. When you're loading plates onto a barbell or onto a machine, use the same plates, like the same color, the same brand. Often gyms will have like different type of plates. Maybe some of them are bumper plates, maybe some of them are metal plates, some of them are rubber, some of them are, brand A, some of them are brand B, and for various reasons that they might have different types of weight plates. But don't use like a metal plate on one side and a rubber plate on the other side. Yes, I know that they're both 45 pounds in theory, but like, just use the same ones. So that's number one. And number two, load them from the heaviest ones inside to the lighter ones outside. Don't put like a 10-pound plate and then a 45 and then a 25-pound plate and then, whatever, another 25. Like, don't, what did I say that? I think I messed that up. Don't put like a 10-pound plate and then a 25 and then a 45 and then a 10 and then another 25. That would be a lot of weight, but like go from the heaviest in the middle. Put the 45 on first, then the 25, then the 10, and then the 5, right? It just biggest in the middle, smallest on the outsides. Looks normal, looks like you know what you're doing. And easier for you as well. If you are one of the people who have been in the gym for longer, or you're more advanced or whatever, and frankly, I often I don't like struggle with it, but like sometimes I gotta like bite my tongue on this one as a trainer. Don't offer unsolicited advice to anyone in the gym unless they are at immediate risk of injuring themselves or someone around them, or if they are like obviously looking around for help or struggling with something, but like don't want to say something. And it's hard to like exactly paint this picture, but you see someone who's like they're fumbling with a bench or like a machine, and you can see that they're trying to adjust something or like fix something, and they just like they can't really figure it out. And to be honest, I've been on the receiving end of this, where it's like you go to a new gym and some gyms just have like weird equipment. It's a different brand, it's a different thing, and it's like I'm trying to find like where's the pin on this bench so that I can move the bench, and I'm just like fumbling around with it, obviously trying to figure it out. And someone comes over, it's like, oh hey, it's here. Oh, it's a weird one. You got to push it down and then pull it up, and then whatever it is. That's normal and that's okay. But like, if someone's just working out and they just have like terrible form on their squats, don't go and tell them that they have terrible form on their squats. Just, again, unless they're about to hurt someone else or like really about to hurt themselves, you got to just let it go. Chances are they're probably just like doing it wrong and they don't know better, and that they would benefit from it, but you don't know how that person's going to receive it. There's also the chance always that someone is doing something awkward or weird or quote unquote wrong form for a specific reason, and they're doing it like on purpose. Maybe they have an injury, maybe they have some very specific thing that they're trying to train that like breaks our conventional interpretation of what good form is or what proper exercises are, and there's a reason why they're doing that thing in that weird way. And so you don't want to end up in that situation. It's very awkward for you and not helpful for anyone, where you see them doing something, again, quote unquote wrong, and like, hey, you're doing that wrong, like do it like this, put your back here, elbow this, whatever. And they're like, oh no, I'm actually doing that because I have this injury, and so that's how I can do it, and my physiotherapist told me to do this, and blah blah. You're like, oh okay, well I'm just an idiot then. So Yeah, it's tough because I see people doing stuff the wrong way very often, because that's what being in a gym is. Most people don't really know what they're doing, and it's good that you're showing up and and all that stuff. But you would benefit so much more from someone who does a couple sessions with a trainer just to like dial in your form and get things right. Separate point. But sometimes it's just like, hey man, yeah, people just don't know how to exercise, and that's okay. And hopefully they find me one day and hire me, and I can help them. But until then, I'm just gonna let it go, and that's that. So yeah, don't give unsolicited advice. Probably not gonna end up the way that you think it would. Although, it would be nice if we could all just help each other and like receive that advice. But it's not. It's on average not going to be interpreted that way. This one should be pretty obvious, but I see it like far more often than you'd think, is don't play music on your phone, like on your speaker. Everyone has headphones pretty much in the gym, and that's obviously fine. If you forget your headphones one day, that doesn't mean you just like play your own music loud off your phone. Like it's a really weird and inconsiderate thing to do. The gym is already playing music that's like some background noise, and then we have to hear your music off your phone, especially if it's vulgar, or if people listen to like weird podcasts or just weird stuff. Like that's not cool. We don't want to listen to that. And you can kind of still hear it over your own headphones and whatnot. Or if you maybe work out without headphones, like the sound quality off the phone, just nothing's good about that. If you forgot your headphones and you want to listen to your own music, too bad. You're not listening to music that day. Don't play it loud off your own phone. Should be obvious, but I mean, you'd be surprised. You need to not smell bad. This, again, it's actually confusing to me how people smell as bad as they smell. And this is not like it's the gym, you're sweaty, like of course you're going to smell bad. It's not that. It's like before your workout started. And even still, like I sweat a lot. I work hard when I go to the gym. I sweat a lot. You don't need to smell so bad. It's actually it's unbelievable. I actually don't understand how people smell this bad. Like you must not shower. You must wear the same clothes multiple times. You keep them crumpled up in your gym bag, and then you just like put it on again without washing it. You don't ever use deodorant ever. Like I don't know what it is. It's quite unbelievable, because I don't know what the things you would have to do to be able to smell that bad and then not notice it as well. It's quite astonishing. But no one wants to be around you. It's to some point, this is maybe like a little bit comedic, if you will, but like at some point it does become like a non-zero safety issue for others. Like, you're getting ready to do a heavy squat. You walk out, you put the bar on your back, you walk out, someone walks by, and always these stinky people, they're always wearing a tank top, which just makes them smell worse because they lift their arms up. There's not even a shirt that's like covering their smell. They just lift their arms up and it's just wafting all over the place. But you put a heavy barbell on your back, you step out of the rack, someone walks by, and you just get a whiff of that pungent smell, and you're like, oh my God, like daze me for a second. It gets you out of focus. You're like, you gotta cough a little bit and get the smell out, but then it lingers, it follows them, and it's like now you're just like, I smell this disgusting smell, and I'm just trying to squat and focus on it. It's wild. It's like a non-zero safety hazard for real. So yeah, I don't like, this is just basic personal hygiene. Like, make sure you shower regularly, make sure you wear clean clothes, make sure you use deodorant. Like, this is basic stuff, but like, should be basic. But again, apparently not so obvious. So don't smell like complete ass. Another one on like personal hygiene, this is more like for the gym side, but like wear clean shoes, especially we're in Canada, it's wintertime. You wear your boots to go to the gym and be outside in the parking lot and shovel your driveway, all that stuff, all fine and good. Wear clean shoes in the gym. Don't be dragging mud and rain and snow and salt and whatever stuff from outside all over the gym. It's not cool for anyone. People are putting their hands on the ground to do push-ups, and maybe you're sitting down on the ground to stretch or something like that, and you don't want to get your clothes full of all the muck and stuff that's outside. It's just inconsiderate. And then the gym staff has to clean that up, the salt and stuff, like it ruins the equipment and the flooring and these things. Pretty simple and just not nice. And for gyms, my gym doesn't do this, but if anyone's designing a gym, put the change rooms near the front door, not at the back of the gym. At my gym, you have to walk in and walk through the entire gym to get to the change room. And so there's not another like shoe change station at the front of the gym. So you have to walk through. Now there's a kind of a clear laneway, but it's still in the path of where people are exercising as well. You have to walk with your dirty outside shoes through the gym just so you can get to the change room to put your clean shoes on to then go work out in the rest of the gym. I don't know who thought of this, but obviously they weren't using their brain. You got to put the change rooms near the front door so that people don't have to walk through the gym with their dirty, mucky outside shoes. If I was a gym owner, that would be thing number one. But I mean, like, I also worked in another gym for a while. This was downtown. And flashback from memories. And if anyone is listening to this that was at that gym that remembers me from this place, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But brand new, newly renovated gym, lots of money, high expensive area, beautiful gym. Frankly, beautiful gym, very well designed, aesthetically, all those kind of things. The entrance to the gym was like the change rooms were at the back of the gym, and it was like a personal training gym, so it wasn't a gigantic gym. The gyms were the change rooms were at the back, and the pathway of the entrance to get into the gym to then walk to the change room was like a turf strip, which is like you can't clean that. Like if it's at least the rubber floor, it's a little bit easier to clean or whatever. But it was like the turf strip. It was like the most poorly designed, and me and the other trainers, I probably still laugh about this when I talk to those guys, but like just crazy bad design. And then, owner always getting mad about like, well, why is it always clean? Why is it always dirty? Well, you designed it to like this. There was an empty space and you just made it like this. Very silly. Put the change rooms at the front of the gym so people don't have to walk through the gym with their dirty shoes. Pretty simple, but here we are. Almost done. Being a good gym bro, and gym bro is a gender neutral term. Whether you're a man or a woman, you are still a gym bro. If you need a spotter for a bench press or for a squat or for whatever other exercise, don't ask for one every single set. That's abusing your spotter asking for privileges. Use one in your last set or here and there when you need one. But if you need a spotter for every single set, like you're just doing something wrong. You don't need a spotter every single set that you're doing. And also tell them how you want them to spot you. Some people are like, do not touch the bar unless I literally am about to die and I drop the bar on me. Some people are like, hey, just help me with a lift off and then I'll be good. Some people like want you to kind of like, they're like, hey, I know I'm going to fail at like rep 3 and then I want you to just like, I'm going to do 3 more, but I need you to help me with 3 more, kind of like beyond failure type thing. There's no right or wrong way. It's whatever you want to do in your training. But tell the spotter how you want them to spot you, because they don't know. They don't know, and then you're gonna get mad about they did it wrong. And bro, you took my PR away. I had that. Like you don't want to get into those things. So if you use a spotter, tell them how you want them to help you. On the flip side, if someone is asking you to be a spotter, be a good gym bro and say yes. After your set or whatever. So they'll be reasonable. But just don't just say no. Like, nah, I don't do that. Like, don't say no. And if they ask you to spot them, they probably, unless there's like a real physical reason that you can't do it, they probably think that you are strong enough to do it, right? If there's someone benching like, 450 pounds, which is crazy, but let's say, they're not going to go up to the, 108-pound grandma who's in the gym, be like, hey, can you spot me on this? Like, obviously she's not going to, or maybe some, but like on average, the 108-pound grandma not going to be able to do much to help a guy who's benching, 450 pounds. But you're probably strong enough to help them. They don't need you to lift the whole bar. They just need you to help a little bit. So be a good gym bro and say yes, but they'll understand after your set or whatever. So yeah, be a good part of the community with that. This kind of goes back to the interrupting people in mid-set, but if you're walking anywhere in the gym, through the bench area, through the dumbbells, through the cables, don't walk so close to people who are in the middle of their set. I've seen it happen a non-zero number of times, and it's happened to me a couple of times, where people like bump into you while you are lifting weights. It happened to me once while I was squatting. Someone bumped into me mid squat while I had a bar on my back, and that was an extreme test of my patience and my ability to not completely lose my temper. But like, that's insane. That's an insane thing to do. Doesn't matter how heavy it is. Like, that's a ridiculous thing to do. But for any exercise, like, don't go so close to people that, like, one, you get in their direct line of vision or right in their periphery, right beside them, so that it feels like they might touch you, even if you know that you're like away from them. Like, just be farther away from people. This also goes to, like, if you can avoid it, it's not like the biggest deal, but like, if someone is facing the mirror and you have the option to walk behind them or in front of them, as in between them and the mirror, and they're obviously like looking at themselves in the mirror while they're doing their exercise, which is a whole other topic, whether that's a good or bad thing or whatever. But if they're doing that, don't walk in front of them. If you have the option, walk behind them, or wait 3 seconds for them to finish their set and then walk in front of them. Like, these simple things. Again, common sense and common kind of spatial awareness. But the biggest thing is, like, if someone's lifting, don't walk so close to them that you might hit them. Even if you don't hit them, it makes the person lifting feel like they might hit you or you might hit them, and now it distracts them and loses their focus, and they're worried about you hitting them, and it's not good for anyone. So, like, just wait until the set is done if there's not enough space, or be like very far away, like take the long way around, get an extra 10 steps. All of these things, just being considerate of people's space around you and be considerate of others, but a small one that some people don't realize sometimes, because you know that you're not going to touch them, but they don't know that. So it throws them off. So just steer clear of people who are lifting when you're walking by. The last thing on the list. This is like a little bit of a more contentious thing in this social media day and age. Don't film other people in the gym. I personally don't have an issue with people filming in the gym. I know some people are like really against it. Bringing your tripods and bringing your whatever. And like, yes, I've done that. I hate doing it. I really dislike doing it because it disrupts my own workout. Like, I'd rather do my workout and then go back to the gym another time and then like film stuff if I had to do it, where I'm just filming stuff. That way I'm not so focused on like filming things, whatever. But separate topic. If you are filming stuff in the gym, do your absolute best to not get other people in the frame. If they're like super far in the background, fine. But like, if they can be identified, if they're on the bench right next to you, if they're, whatever, it's not cool. Unless you explicitly ask them, it's not cool. Even if you're not posting it, even if you're just, keeping that video for yourself, it's a form check, or if it's to send to your coach, or, for whatever, it's not something you're posting on social media. It's not cool to be filming other people without asking them. This is also true of like, or especially true if you're getting in someone's way. If your tripod or your whatever is like in the way of a bench or in the way of a rack or something, where someone else can't use that thing at this moment because your thing is there, that's totally not cool at all. Yeah, if you're taking a selfie in the squat rack while like someone's waiting to use the squat rack and you're like taking selfies, which you think that's insane, but like, I've seen that too many times. Not cool. You're just annoying and no one likes you. So don't do that. And do your best to not get other people in your photos, in your videos. Sometimes it's like a little bit unavoidable if you must, but like, I think the answer is don't take the video. If like, it is avoidable. Like, wait for a time when no one's around, or, if you are filming, like, this is not a photo studio, not a film studio. You are going to change the flow of your own workout, to wait for a moment when no one's around to film your set, rather than expecting other people to be out of the set, or just saying, fuck it, and I'll just film it, and if they get in the background, like, it doesn't matter. Maybe it does matter a lot to them. Maybe they feel self-conscious. Maybe they just don't, never mind self-conscious. Like, even it's not about a self-conscious thing. I just don't want to be in other people's videos. Like, don't film me doing whatever I'm doing, even if I'm just walking around, if I'm just drinking water, if I'm just resting between my sets, if I'm doing my set, don't film me. Don't film me without asking. And I think the vast majority of people feel the same. So not cool to be filming people without asking them. And especially do not be getting in people's way. That is really annoying if you're filming stuff in the gym. I think that about covers it. It's lasted a lot longer than I thought it would. But yeah, again, I know that this was probably not the most popular episode. But if you listened all the way through, please send this to your friends. Please send this to other gym people. It's going to make gym environments much better. Again, especially the piece about sharing equipment and sharing space. Extremely important, and extremely important for making the gym environment more welcoming and more positive for everyone, so that we can all have better experiences and therefore get better gains. I appreciate each and every one of you. Send it to your friends, 5-star reviews, all those good things. Like, share, subscribe on social media and all the places. And that's that. Go outside. Be a good person. See you soon.